This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
Sunday morning, Easter Sunday. With us today is Secretary Brooke Rollins, and she is the Secretary of Agriculture, and it's Easter Sunday. Do we have eggs at the right price, Madam Secretary?
Well, John, you're kind of talking my love language here. You've combined Easter with the cost of eggs and supporting our farmers, which is kind of the top of my list. Listen, what a joy to be on with you this morning, especially such an important day, the most important day for our Christians, but also those who love faith, supporting our president who's put faith back at the center of the White House, but also understanding the importance of our farmers. And tomorrow is Monday. We're going to have the Easter egg roll at the White House. 40,000 great Americans are going to descend. We had about 30,000 eggs arrive from North Carolina later in the week of last week. I was able to launch them from North Carolina and then on the back end accept them when they got to D.C. It's just a beautiful day, a beautiful time for our country.
So how many eggs are going to be at the White House? 40,000?
We had 40,000 eggs donated from the Braswell Egg Farm in North Carolina.
Wow. Are they hard-boiled?
They're hard-boiled. The kiddos are going to be decorating and rolling them down the lawn. And, you know, to your point, this is such a great Donald Trump story. I think that it maybe has gotten lost. Last year at this time, the cost of a dozen eggs was, a lot of people couldn't afford them, was astronomical. It was, you know, after 4 years of really bad policy under President Biden, and it went anywhere from $10 a dozen. In California, it was $20 for a dozen eggs. And so people went to the president. He said, Brooke, you got to get the prices down. And we've done that. The prices are now about 80% lower than they were a year ago. But we also said, sir, do you want to consider having plastic eggs this year because of the cost of eggs? And he said, absolutely not. These are Easter eggs. We're not going to have plastic eggs. And so at that point, the cost of eggs was already coming down, much more affordable. We found a great egg farmer last year, one again this year, who donated all of those eggs. And we were able to celebrate a lot of different things that day, just as we will tomorrow on Monday for the Easter egg roll.
And I spoke to Hilton, that's running for governor in California, and gasoline yesterday was $7.50, $8 a gallon.
Oh, it's really, you know, well, first of all, the president and this administration has been so focused on energy and being energy independent and the cost of gas. And you know this, it really had come down significantly, even in crazy California. I think it was down to $4 or $5 a gallon. In my state of Texas, it was down to, you know, lower $2 a gallon. Of course, with Iran and the conflict, it's up a little bit. It'll all come back down. But I tell you, Steve Hilton is doing a remarkable job out in California framing the question for the people of California. Is this what you want? Do you want a state where the government, and maybe in your beautiful state of New York, John, is this really the American dream where gas costs $6, $7, $8 a gallon, where to go to the grocery store is 40% more than in other parts of the country, where all of your job creators are leaving in droves for states like Florida and Texas and North Carolina, where the tax burden is so much lower? That's the existential question of our time, and I'm glad you got to talk to Steve. I think he's doing a good job framing that question for our citizens.
And I'll tell you something else. I just got a tweet that I live in New York City, and we got a mess in New York City, and I just got a tweet that from this J.P. Morgan guy. He says, when I came to work for J.P. Morgan, they had 33,000 employees, and now they have, in New York, and now they have 26,000. I guess the rest went to your state, Texas.
Wow. Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's the story all over the country. And it's interesting, I don't know if you were tracking, but the state of Washington just passed their first income tax, and they're already a deep blue state. Actually, I think it's more 50-50, John. Donald Trump only lost the state of Washington in one of his races by 5 or 6 points, but the governance there is far left. And so they just passed their income tax. They were already struggling. And immediately, a lot of their big job creators were like, we're out here. We're going to Texas. We're going to Florida. We're done. So at some point, these states are going to have to wake up. The voters are going to have to wake up and realize what they're voting for is a decimation of the American dream.
Secretary Rollins, we want the price of food to come down. You know, I am in the food business, and the joke I tell is the less stores I have, the less money I lose. And
Right.
I mean, it's horrible what's going on.
It is terrible.
And what's happening is, you know, we're waiting for energy costs to go down. They were down to $55 a barrel, and now they're back up because of the war. Now, the other thing is, I guess Washington, Chairman Powell, is keeping interest rates artificially up. So what happens is, whether you're in the food business or whether in the agriculture business, interest rates and the cost of energy is the two most primary things.
Well, that's exactly right, and that's really what the president is focused on. You know, we've really begun to see the price of food begin to decrease. You're probably not seeing it in New York as much. Other than eggs, which we've talked about, milk is down 17% across the country. Butter is down 11% across the country. A lot of the proteins like chicken and a lot of our seafood is down. Of course, you know, there's still some that are an outlier like beef that are still up. But we're working really hard. We got to get fuel, keep getting fuel down, keep getting labor down, keep getting interest rates down. And agriculture, feed, fertilizer, equipment has skyrocketed at a time that our farmers haven't made any money in years. And also, we had no new trade deals under the Biden administration. So we inherited a $50 billion agricultural trade deficit. In 1 year, we've cut that in half because the president has inked 18 new trade deals. So we're putting that, John, the infrastructure is being put in place. It isn't going to happen overnight, although we have gotten a lot of things done overnight, seemingly, in the first year. But we've got 2 years and about 10 months left to get the rest of it done, and we'll get there. The affordability of everyday Americans, having the American dream within reach, continues to be our highest priority, and agriculture is a major component of that. And as hard as this job is, it's also such a blessing. And here on Easter Sunday, I'll say that fighting for farmers, fighting for the American dream, fighting for rural America, fighting for the pioneering spirit, fighting for freedom and liberty just continues to be the greatest honor of my life. And getting to talk about it with you is right up there, too. So I really appreciate the time.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Have a happy Easter with your family. And I hope that egg roll goes well. And God bless you. God bless America.
God bless you, too, John. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
This is Roger Stone for American Sovereign Bullion. Since 2020, the U.S. dollar has lost over 20% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to rise. Call 844-272-2428 or go to asbgold.com now to get your free gold and silver guide and learn how to protect your wealth with physical gold and silver delivered to your door or held in a gold IRA today. So go to asbgold.com now. Don't wait for the markets to drop. That's asbgold.com.